The Frugal Gourmet Celebrates Christmas is made possible by the annual financial support of viewers like you.
Hi, and happy holidays. I'm so glad we could be together for the benefit of all of us in public television. We're going to have a good time today. When I was a child, I think Christmas Eve was the most exciting time in my life. It was also the most desperate time because my father always wanted to talk before we opened presents. When I grew up, I spent a lot of time with my own boys talking about Hanukkah as well as Christmas. So we have a couple of festivals to celebrate, and we should do that. I need some help in the kitchen. Craig, is my helper with you? Where is he? Oh, here. Elmo! Elmo, how are you, sweetheart? Merry Christmas to you.
Thanks for having Elmo.
I'm so glad you're here.
Elmo, get on this box.
Okay, come on, that's better.
There we are.
Is that perfectly safe now?
Yes, it's wonderful.
All right. I want to talk to you about the creche, Elmo.
Creche?
Yes. Well, it's over here.
Oh.
The creche has wonderful characters from the birth of Jesus. And do you have some favorite ones?
Oh, yeah.
Which ones?
The shepherd.
The shepherd
Yeah,
boy?
'cause he takes care of the sheep.
Oh, you think that's interesting?
Yeah.
All right, you know what he would eat?
No?
I'll show you what he would eat. This is not, Elmo, what I would call...
It's toast.
It's toast. It's just bread, Elmo.
Oh.
He would eat bread and sop.
Sop?
Sop is gravy.
Gravy.
This
Elmo
would be the
loves
most
gravy.
common meal that he would have. So I'm going to put some bread in a bowl. And I think during the holidays, we should all remember people at that time and eat something like this some night instead of having 5 hams and 6 turkeys and all that sort of thing.
Well,
So
Elmo definitely loves gravy and bread.
Do you really?
With sop.
Sop. I'm going to put some sop on it. Is that how you said? Sop?
Yeah, sop.
Don't get that little nose of yours in here and I'll get bread gravy on it, huh?
Oh, that's okay. I'm going to lick it up. Oh, that
It's just plain
good.
brown gravy, Elmo.
Oh, that looks good, Mr.
And
Jeff.
it goes over toast. My father lived on this when he was a boy. That's all they had.
You
That's
live
all
on
they ate.
that?
That's all they had to eat. So our first Christmas gift is a toast with gravy on it. Now the second gift, who do you like secondly in the manger? Who else interests you?
What? The angel.
Why?
Yeah. Well, 'cause she's beautiful.
Ah, the
Yeah.
angel. Look at her. Isn't she gorgeous?
Wonderful wings.
Yes, wonderful
Yeah.
wings. Yes, and she's holding a banner. What does it say?
Well, it says Gloria. That must be her name.
No, Elmo, that's not her name.
That's not her name?
No, do you
It's
remember?
a nice name.
In the Bible, it says when the angels appeared, they were singing glory to God in the highest. And
Ah.
Gloria is the way that's what they sang.
Oh, that's neat.
Gloria!
Gloria.
That's it. Now you got it. All right, I'm going to show you something else. This is really good. I'm going to make a pasta for you with angel hair.
Oh, Elmo gets the connection.
You do?
Yeah. Angel hair.
You're so quick. Let me throw that in here.
Elmo tried. Oh,
I
what's
need
that?
some whipping cream.
You
What
put
is
it
that?
in the pot?
Will you get it for me, Craig? Thank you.
Oh, hi, Mr. Craig.
Hi, Elmo. How you doing today?
Very good.
Great. Here,
These-
there's a cup.
Thank you. That's fine. Look at this, Elmo.
Whipping cream, huh?
These are angel hair baskets. Tiny, tiny, tiny,
Oh,
very fine.
They do look like baskets.
It looks like shredded wheat, doesn't
And
it?
kind of like a bird's nest, too.
Like a bird's nest. Yes, it looks
Yeah.
like it. Oh, it's good stuff. Let me
Looks
find
good.
a food and fork here.
So you just put it
You
in
stay on
boiling
your-
water?
You stand, you're standing. I'm just boiling it, yes.
Oh.
And it'll take a second, just a second. About 2 minutes, I think, and this is done. So, while I watch, now, in this pan, Elmo,
Yeah.
I have prepared,
What pan?
in this pan, I prepared mushrooms and shallots and some fresh mushrooms, as well as some dried.
Elmo loves mushrooms.
Well, mushrooms are important in this dish because mushrooms come from the earth, and mushrooms signify to all of us waste. They grow out of garbage, out of dead leaves and all sorts of crazy things.
Boy,
And
if they
out of
waste,
that-
they definitely taste good.
Oh, they do. But you see, out of that, the king of the universe
Yeah?
can make gorgeous things.
Ah.
Nothing is beyond redemption, I tell you. If I've learned anything in theology through the years, that's it.
Hmm.
Okay.
What does theology mean?
God talk.
Oh,
Theology.
theology.
Yes, it means God talk.
Theology.
You're good at that.
Thank you.
Okay, now,
Is that what's finished?
it's not done yet. Just a second.
Okay.
Now I have some whipping cream, Elmo, and I'm going to stir. Boy, I don't have enough spoons here this morning. Here we go.
Well, Elmo can use his hands.
Elmo, get out of the bowl.
Oh,
Come on.
Sorry. Sorry.
I'm going to stir some whipping cream into my mushrooms.
Oh, yeah. And with the Charlotte.
Now, this has already been whipped, you see? And this represents the clouds.
Ah.
The angels are
Wow.
the mediators between the earth and the clouds.
Yeah.
So we use mushrooms and clouds. You got it?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's
It's
do
all
it.
coming together.
Here we are.
You get it? It's all coming together?
Yes, yourself. There we are. Actually, this was Craig's idea. He was the one that suggested that we put clouds in it, whipped cream, you see.
Well, he's a smart man.
He's a smart man. He is a smart man. Oh, I don't want to overcook this.
No, no,
Look
no.
out, look out, look out.
It's coming out. The water is draining. Slowly but surely. There it is.
There it is. Okay, Elmo. I'm going to,
But then you put the mushrooms and the whipping
I'm
cream
going to mix it up.
and the shallots together, huh?
I'm going to mix it up thusly. There.
Whoa, look
Wow.
at the steam.
Did you burn your nose?
No, kind
I
of
hope
moistening
not.
up Elmo's eyeball.
You have to worry about young people in the kitchen, you know. That's important. And I don't want you to hurt yourself.
Yeah,
ever.
that's why Elmo's box is far away from the oven.
Okay. All right. Now, I'll toss the pasta very lightly with the mushrooms sauce and a little whipping cream in it.
Uh-huh.
Oh, boy,
Ooh.
this is good.
Wow, that
Time to
looks
put it
good.
out. We have a dish for the angel.
Wow. That's
Wow.
nice. Boy, lucky angel.
You can taste later.
Oh, good.
Do you like mushrooms, Elmo?
Elmo loves mushrooms.
Really?
Yeah.
When Craig and I were in Italy a while back, we had mushrooms
Wow, look at that.
just constantly. It was in October. Is that good?
Yes,
That
smells
good?
very good.
All right. Now,
But I'm gonna let the angel eat some first. It's for her.
all right. There's no cream in the whipping. No sugar in the whipping cream, you know.
Oh.
So we're gonna put some clouds now on top. This is just plain cream, whipping cream that's been whipped up, and no sugar or vanilla, of course. Now I want to show you a trick. We whipped this up a while ago, and I put it in a basket, in
Yeah?
a strainer,
Why?
and stuck it in the refrigerator because if you leave whipping cream in a bowl, a puddle of whey will form in the bottom, and it will collapse the cream. But if you put it in a strainer,
Yeah?
like this,
Uh-huh.
then the cream, the whey can drain out in the bottom, and the cream will stay high.
Look at that.
Isn't that fascinating?
Boy, you're a smart little Jeff.
Well, I've learned a few things in the years, I'll tell you that.
Good.
I want some cheese. You want some cheese on the cream?
Oh, yeah.
That'd be good. This is pecorino.
What is that?
No, this is not pecorino. This is a Parmigiano Reggiano from Italy.
Parmigiano? Parmigiano.
Parmigiano.
Oh, Parmigiano.
Parmigiano.
Oh, yeah, Elmo had Parmesan before.
Oh, that's good.
Parmigiano.
Parmigiano, see. Okay.
Ooh.
Are you ready?
Yes.
All right, here's the angel. Now,
There you go, Angel.
who else fascinates you?
Well, the wise man.
Why?
Well, because he's wise.
I see. That's a good reason. Well,
Look at him.
Look.
His hand on his
he's
chest.
beautiful, isn't
He's
he?
very wise looking.
Yes. He was probably a prince or a king or a ruler of some sort from Persia. We know that because some of the gifts that they brought, frankincense and myrrh, would have come out of Persia. So I'm
What,
going to
are
call
those
my
lawyers?
I'm going to call my wise man.
Frankincense and myrrh? Are those lawyers?
Are they what?
Lawyers.
Lawyers?
Yeah.
No, they're not lawyers. They're not lawyers. Craig, come and make some Persian meatballs for us, will you?
Persian.
Sure. Okay.
Persian.
Oh, boy. Look at
I
all
want
my
those
stuff.
meatballs, too.
Let me get this out of your way.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Set.
You like meatballs, Elmo?
Oh, yeah.
You do? Okay, good. Let me grab a bowl here.
Well, I'm gonna go see one. You got one?
The meat's over there. You're all set. Okay.
This is gonna be fun.
This is ground lamb. About 2 pounds of ground lamb.
Uh-huh.
And we need about a half a cup of chopped onion in there. Throw that
look
in.
at that.
And pine nuts. You know what pine nuts are?
They're nuts.
Well, sure they are. And they come from pine cones, see?
Oh.
Need a half a cup of those. Put those in
You know,
there.
Elmo didn't know that the nuts had pine cones. I mean, nuts were
Oh,
ate
sure,
pine
delicious.
cones. No.
And some ground cumin, about a teaspoon of that.
Ground
This
cumin.
is very typical of Persian,
Oh, yes,
Persian
yes.
flavors, Elmo.
Oh.
2,000 years ago, if they rode camels, they certainly tasted something like this.
Really?
Really.
And then some bulgur wheat. This is bulgur wheat here.
Bulgur wheat?
It's a grain. Okay, it's cracked wheat. And then if you soak that in boiling water for about 20 minutes or something, and 2 cups of water and about 3/4 cup of bulgur wheat, it'll soak up. See how it's changed? All right, throw that in there too.
Wow.
And that's going to help to lighten the meatball almost the same way that breadcrumbs will help lighten a meatball in regular old cooking and like Italian cooking.
With
that
much
sort of
nicer
Wow.
flavor.
That's
Much
neat.
nicer.
And we need some lemon
Yeah,
juice, fresh
lemon.
lemon juice. Okay. And I've got the lemon reamer. See that? That's a nice trick. And we're going to put that right into the strainer.
Look, go get that in Elmo's eyes,
Oh, I
Craig.
know.
No.
We wouldn't want him to cry.
No.
Now, if you just do it into a little strainer
that
like
enough
that, then you
lemon
get
juice?
no seeds, right? In
That's
she
enough
goes. A
lemon
couple
juice?
of tablespoons. Yeah, lemon juice.
You said a couple of tablespoons.
A couple of tablespoons. And then what's really going to make this Persian is going to be some fresh mint and fresh dill. And I've already chopped some up here, and we'll just throw that in there. About a tablespoon of fresh mint
Oh,
and a
Craig,
couple
this-
tablespoons of dill.
this
That's
looks
what
delicious.
really brings it back to the Middle East, you
This
know.
looks delicious.
Wow.
Now, a little bit of olive oil. Say 2 or 3 tablespoons of olive oil.
Yes,
That
sir.
smells good.
There it
There
is.
you go.
Extra virgin.
Yeah, good stuff,
This is what I
good
want.
stuff.
This is what I
The
want.
wise men would only have used extra virgin.
Actually, they did have olive oil.
It was a commodity then, wasn't it?
We did have
Along
olive
with
oil.
salt and pepper, which we're going to put in here.
Commodity?
So you add a little salt
Yes.
and pepper. And you have to mix this up with your hands. This is something
Oh,
that you would love to
that's
do, but
fine.
I don't want any red fur in here, okay?
No.
Watch your head, Elmo. Here comes
But
the
that
pepper.
does look like fun.
Okay.
A little salt, a little gesundheit.
You all right?
Yes.
Huh?
Almost needs away from the food, too.
Okay.
A little bit of salt and pepper in there, and then form these into balls about 1.5 inches in diameter. Just grab some and roll it into a ball like this.
You can't
okay?
make any bigger than that?
Now, you can make them as big as you want.
Oh.
Anyway, form little balls about that size, and to help you roll these, to prevent the meat from sticking in your hands, you can dip your hands into a little bowl of water,
idea.
and that way the meat won't
No,
stick in your hands.
that's not
Now, place
fun.
those on a sheet.
Oh.
That's not fun. You're getting
You
rid
want
of
to
the
be messy,
fun
don't you?
part.
I know.
All right.
Place those on a sheet pan and bake those off for about 20 minutes to 350 degrees. Don't overcook these, and I'll show you what you get.
Did you forget the egg?
Oh, my gosh.
Oh,
Do it.
Craig.
Well, you had me distracted.
Oh, okay. Blame it on Elmo. Blame it on Elmo.
Put the egg in there and put that in. That'll help hold the meatball together.
Okay. I'll take them out of the oven.
Okay.
Oh.
Boy, doesn't that look good? Doesn't it look good? Looks
Yum,
good,
yum, yum,
doesn't
yum,
it?
yum.
What
Oh,
temperature
there
you
goes-
bake these at, Craig?
350, 20 minutes.
Oh, they're finished.
We want
Oh,
to
wait.
make sure that they're juicy inside.
We're speedballs around here.
Wow.
Whoops, he just put it onto the burner. Is that your gravy? Yes, okay.
Oh, is this rice?
Now, yes, this is a special kind of rice. This is basmati rice. This is very typical of in India, East Indian cooking and other some of the other cultures there in the Middle East and things like that.
Basmati?
It's a very, it looks just like long grain, but it has a nuttier flavor. It's delicious. And I'm going to just spatula these
Smell
on.
it, Elmo. It smells different than regular rice. You see, it smells sort of
Oh, yeah.
nutty.
Yeah, it
You
does.
see? You see?
Oh, you're putting the meatballs up on top of it.
And then we have a sauce that goes
It
on
almost
top,
sees
too.
the nuts. Those are pine cone nuts, huh?
Oh,
Is that
boy.
what you said?
This
Pine
is
cone
right.
nuts?
Yes, they are. And this is very
Kind of.
typical of dishes that you'll find in Persian restaurants, even in our time.
Oh,
Very
There
good.
we go.
boy, they look very good, doesn't it?
You'll need a spoon, Craig. I don't have one over here for you.
Ladle, there
A
we
lot
go.
of
Okay.
meatballs.
And then let me show you something else, Elmo.
What?
This is a yogurt sauce with sauteed onions in it. All you need to do is just heat up a couple pints of yogurt, simmer it very gently because you don't want to break it.
Wow.
Add some sauteed onions, and this is thickened very lightly with some cornstarch. I'm just going to pour, okay?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's great. There we go.
Boy, does
Now
that
wait,
look
watch
good.
this next. Watch this next.
It's not
trick,
over
Elmo.
with yet. Hold your britches
Now
there.
we're going.
You're not finished?
Now we're going. No, now we're going to the desert. Here it is.
Oh.
One other
Here we
thing.
go.
This is sumac. This is a sort of an exotic spice from
Really?
from the Middle East, and that's really what's going to make this elegant.
The
Look
bark
at
from the
color.
sumac tree.
Oh, it's delicious stuff.
But don't you pick out sumac locally in this country and eat it up.
Why?
Most of it's deadly poison.
Sure.
You
Oh, it's
have to buy it from a good spice person.
And this has a sort of a tangy, almost metallic sort of flavor, but it's very,
Kind of
very
lemony,
good.
too.
Lemony,
Metallic?
and then a little bit of parsley. Now look at the color we have, Elmo. See?
Wow! It's like a red and green and brown.
Almost like the holiday season.
Yeah!
How about that? Let's
Can
put
you
it out.
Put that out there? Okay.
Oh, boy.
Well,
Thanks,
that's,
Craig.
that's
Oh,
for
you're
the
welcome.
wise
Boy, that's
man.
heavy. That'll
that's
feed a
terrific.
small army there.
Yeah.
That's for the wise man. So we've
Yeah.
taken care. Thanks, Craig. You're welcome.
Yeah.
We've taken care of the shepherd boy, and the angel,
Angel?
and the wise man.
Yeah.
Now,
Gloria!
that's right. Now, one of the reasons that Christmas is celebrated at this time of the year
Uh-huh.
is because during Advent we have the darkest night of the year, and we need lots of light.
Oh.
So we put lights on our trees and
Yeah.
lights in the windows.
Yeah. Very pretty.
Our forefathers in the faith and foremothers,
Mhm.
the Jews, did the same thing with a festival called Hanukkah. You know that one?
What is it? Hanukkah?
Hanukkah.
Hanukkah.
That's very good pronunciation.
Thank you.
You know, not bad for a little red monster.
Well, Elmo tries.
Oh, well, here it is.
What is that? It's
This
candle.
this is a menorah.
Menorah.
A menorah. And the center candle is used for lighting the other 8 candles. Why 8? Why 8 candles? Well, this is the story.
8 is
Two-
enough?
8 is perfect. And the colors represent different tribes in
Yeah, they're
Israel.
pretty colors.
Many years ago, over 2,000 years ago, Judas Maccabeus helped restore the temple.
Uh-huh.
They had been invaded by these characters, and they did terrible things to the Jews. And one of the things they did, one of the stories I've heard, is that they wanted to desecrate the temple. So they killed a pig, and Jews won't get near pigs. No, the Lord said, don't eat piggy, all right?
Yeah.
So, I don't mean this piggy, I mean don't eat piggy.
Yeah,
Here,
please.
all right, don't. Anyhow, they killed a pig, and they drugged the pig all around the temple and just did everything terrible. So finally, Judas Maccabeus restored the temple, and when it was time to cleanse the temple and rededicate it, they realized that the oil for the holy lamp, the eternal lamp, all they could find was 1 day's worth. And it would take 8 days to go get more oil. So the Festival of Light commemorates a time in which they ran to get the oil, and it took 8 days exactly. And when they came back, the lamp was still burning. It was a miracle.
So that's why 8 candles,
That's
huh?
right, for the 8 days. And on
Wow.
Hanukkah, in our house, always, the boys and I always enjoyed these.
What's that?
These are latkes. These are latkes. They're
Latkes?
potato pancakes with a little onion in it.
Oh, look. They look really,
Isn't
really
that,
yummy.
isn't that gorgeous?
Yeah.
I know, let's see that.
Boy, that
There.
looks good.
Yes, well, listen, I need a match. Well, I can't light it because I don't have any matches here.
Oh.
I'm sorry, I thought there were some matches under this place, but it doesn't matter. There we go,
So
There we
you
go.
had those on Hanukkah?
on Hanukkah.
Wow.
And Hanukkah generally occurs very close to Christmas. Oh, but I've got to tell you something.
What?
Hanukkah lasts 8 days, as
Yeah.
I said, right?
Yeah.
And every one of the 8 days, young people get a present. So you get 8 presents. One
Wait a minute, Mr. Jeff. Every day?
every evening when we light the menorah. On the second night, we'll have 2 candles going. On the third night, we'll have 3 candles going.
Wow.
On the fourth night, we'll have 4 candles going. Isn't that fun?
Elmo loves that holiday.
Well, listen. Let's light just one.
Candle. Okay.
Let's light just one.
Okay.
There. Now you start with this one, Elmo.
You start with the middle one?
The middle one is the middle one is used to light the others. I can't remember the name in Hebrew. I just can't remember it. Come here, you. Well, we've got those in there safely, haven't we? Come on, there we go. And then you
One,
blow this one out.
two.
So this is the first night of Hanukkah, and you begin telling the story. And the story goes on all the time that you celebrate for 8 days. So, the first night of Hanukkah,
Uh-huh.
here you are, sweetie.
Oh!
Now, these are
Thank you.
little gold candies.
Ooh.
You know what you have to have?
What?
Sour cream and applesauce.
Sour cream and applesauce?
That makes it legit.
Boy, that sounds good, too.
Oh, it's very good, Elmo. It's just very, 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 very good.
Wow.
This for me is the favorite holiday, I think, because you see it's getting dark now already tonight,
Yeah.
and And it's early yet, for heaven's sakes, it's early. So we bring in all of these lights and special flowers and special ornaments to remember that we mustn't ever lose hope and we mustn't ever get depressed in the wintertime.
No, Elmo will never, because it's Elmo's favorite holiday, too.
Isn't it? Isn't it? Good. Look at this one. This is from
What's
Sweden. It's a, if you light the candles, the heat will make it go around. And it has the blessed child and the wise men and sheep and shepherds.
There's a windmill on top.
There's a windmill on top, sure, just like that hat you used to have.
Yeah.
You remember one of those?
Yeah.
That's how it works. It's just a wonderful thing. And the
It's
poinsettias, all of these things,
yeah.
and the green that we don't see in the wintertime, we bring in from evergreen trees. Who did the first Christmas tree?
Elmo don't know.
Neither do I.
Oh, really?
But we think it was Martin Luther.
Why?
Because he was a German theologian, and he brought a tree in from the yard one day and put candles on it.
Oh,
And
really?
we're quite sure that it was Mr. Luther.
But didn't he burn the tree down?
No, he didn't. You have to be very careful. We don't use candles anymore, thank goodness. Did you see what I have on my Christmas tree?
Yeah.
Look at corn
Yeah.
and grapes and all of the plenteousness of...
Wait a minute, Mr. Jeff.
What?
You have a pickle on the tree.
That's an old German custom.
Really?
Yes, they said that, they tell me now, that in the old days in Germany, see, that's where the Christmas tree came from. And that's why we think Luther was behind it. Anyhow, they would hide a pickle in the tree, and the child that found the pickle would get an extra present.
Oh, well, that's a neat tradition.
Sounds like Hanukkah.
Yeah.
Okay, let me go through the dishes.
Oh, great.
Let me, so that our friends will know what we've been
Okay.
cooking. Angel hair pasta. For heaven's sakes, don't overcook the pasta. It takes just a moment. This is called capellini. Capellini in Italy.
Capellini.
Capellini. See?
Capellini.
Capellini. And we use clouds from heaven and mushrooms from the earth to come up with a gorgeous dish that's great for the holiday season. Persian meatballs that Craig developed for us over basmati rice covered with sumac and cream made, a sauce made with, whoops, I'm preaching too fast here. I just blew the candle out. And sop, which would have been typical, certainly, of Joseph the carpenter. And it's what Jesus served this before he was taken away. And latkes with sour cream and applesauce. Just one of the greatest dishes that I know. So good. And that's all you have for dinner.
Oh, really?
Yes. You just sit down and have these wonderful, wonderful things. We're going to have to get ready to take a break.
Oh, okay.
And when we come back, well, what are we going to cook next time? We're going to cook...
What?
Well, I've got a Christmas goose.
Ooh, that sounds
And
good.
I've got a crown rack of pork.
Wow.
We've got all kinds of good things coming up. And I've got some peppermint candy cookies that are just going to knock you for a loop. For a loop.
Elmo loves cookies.
It'll be terrific. So we're going to take a break. We'll be anxious to have you come back and join us. For heaven's sakes, don't leave. We'll be back in just a few minutes, and I'm going to try and tell Elmo the story of the real St. Nicholas. There really was such a character, you know. Did you know that? You believe in Santa Claus?
I hope so.
Oh, I do. So, in order to do this, we want you to celebrate with us, and that means celebrating public television. Please call the number that's on your screen. You see it right there.
Right there.
And support this local PBS station. I want to hear those rings, those bells ring like Christmas bells on the telephone. All right? Elmo?
Elmo's listening.
Okay, we'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Stephanie Nadiak. I'm here in the studios at QED this afternoon to welcome you and to hope that you'll become...
We're in the kitchen and we're ready to talk more about the holidays.
Yeah.
Elmo, do you know much about Santa Claus?
Well, Elmo knows that Santa Claus brings him gifts and stuff. And you know, Elmo leaves Santa Claus, like, milk and cookies out, too.
Santa Claus goes back a long time. St. Nicholas was his first name.
Well, wait.
Here, look,
Saint
this is St.
Nicholas?
Nicholas. St. Nicholas.
St. Nicholas.
This is a Greek icon of St. Nicholas. He goes back, he was the Bishop of Myra in Turkey. And he was born in the year 280, and he was a very kind and pious man. Everybody loved him, and he was always helping those who were in need.
280?
He gave, yes, 280 AD. He gave so many gifts to so many people who were in trouble. And then, later on, he became very popular in Greece as well. Bishop St. Nicholas was always helping someone. And
St. Nicholas.
He gave gifts to so many people. And he was very, very popular. At the end of the Middle Ages, he became very popular he went through Greece and then into Western Europe. And in Western Europe, they made him into the bishop, or the image of a Western bishop. You see?
Oh, look at that.
You see how he's dressed? He's a bishop's staff.
Yeah.
He looks something like our bishop now.
Wow.
And he has toys over his back because he gave gifts to boys and girls.
Oh,
Lovely
yeah,
thing.
Elmo see the toys.
Isn't he
Yeah.
beautiful? And by the time he got into Holland, he was called, St. Nicholas was called Sinterklaas. Because that's how
Sinterklaas.
Sinterklaas, that's how the Dutch pronounce St. Nicholas.
Oh.
And then he came to America with the Dutch immigrants. And that's where we got our Santa Claus. Because that's how Americans began saying Sinterklaas, which was originally St. Nicholas. In 1863, Thomas Nast published a poem did these drawings for a poem that was published in Harper's Weekly. A wonderful poem. And look at he said that he was dressed all in fur from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot.
Yeah.
That's right, Jimmy. But look, isn't he a jolly old elf?
Yeah, look at him. He has
That was
a
in
lot of toys,
1863.
too.
Look how he's changed. Now he's an old elf, a funny little man with a pipe. And now the change is made complete. In 1931, a soda pop company hired a fellow by the name of Hayden Sundblom to draw his image of Santa Claus. And in 1939, the year I was born, Norman Rockwell did this one for the Saturday Evening Post. Look, Santa Claus is sitting in front of an enormous map. He's on a ladder, Elmo, sitting way up high. The map is so big that he's checking out his list of the good boys and girls and checking it twice.
He definitely looked jolly there.
He looks great. And finally, the last one that we have from Mr. Sundblom was in 1947.
Oh, look, that's
Look at
pretty.
that. And you see, that's how we see Santa Claus now. Now, that's a long way from
Yeah.
St. Nicholas, who was a bishop, isn't it?
Yes,
Isn't
from
that
St.
fascinating?
Nicholas.
All right, let me put the bishop back here,
Okay.
and we'll begin doing some cooking.
Wow. It's a pretty pictures. Pretty pictures.
Yes, it's fun. Listen, but I have someone I want you to meet first.
Who?
Craig, is Papa Bear with you?
Oh, yeah.
Send him in, please.
Papa Bear?
Yes.
Is that from Goldilocks and the Three
Hi,
Bears?
Father. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Merry
Wait a
Christmas.
minute.
Italian,
Buon
you gotta kiss
Natale.
twice.
That doesn't look like a Papa Bear.
Well, let me tell you why we call him Papa Bear.
Please.
He's a priest in New Jersey, and his name is Orsini, Father Orsini,
Oh.
and he writes cookbooks, as well as teaching theology.
Well, Father Orsini, can Elmo call you Papa Bear?
Absolutely.
Oh, thank you.
Sure.
The name Orsini
Uh-huh.
in Italian means little bear. So the kids in his parish, this is a good book, the kids in his parish call him, instead of Father Orsini, they call him Papa Bear.
Oh.
We have a dish, Father,
Yes.
that you did for us.
Ooh, you gonna cook?
Oh,
You better tell us
we
what
have
it
it
is.
all ready.
Oh, good.
This is a very, very special dish made on Christmas Eve. And remember, we're celebrating the feast of the Incarnation, which means that God was made flesh. And in the Roman tradition, because of that, we do not eat flesh meat on the Christmas vigil,
I
on
see,
Christmas
I
Eve.
see.
So we make
mix
a
that up.
vegetable, beautiful pasta with garlic and plenty
Oh,
of cheese
Yes, lots of cheese.
and
Walnuts.
Put
walnuts.
some more cheese.
Oh, more cheese?
More cheese, more cheese.
How much cheese do you want?
All of it.
A lot of cheese. Okay, I'll put a lot of cheese. A little
Get
parsley.
your own show, Orsini.
A little parsley.
Yes.
Okay.
Just a little, just a little.
And this is made specially for you.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you
There.
very much. Boy, that looks good.
Oh, I do have a present. Yes,
You
yes,
do?
yes, yes.
Oh,
Something very special. A beautiful Christmas tree ornament of St. Nicholas,
Oh,
Santa Claus, for you.
for Elmo. Oh, please give it to Elmo.
Ah, here you go.
It's the Bishop of Western Europe. It's Sinterklaas.
Oh, look at that.
Can you see it?
Wow.
Yes. That's
Thank
great.
you, Papa Bear.
You're welcome, Elmo.
That's
Wow, look at
terrific.
that.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, and
We'll
God bless
see you later. We'll go out and
Take
have lunch.
care.
All right.
Okay.
Bless your heart.
Thank you.
Thank you, Papa Bear.
You're
And Merry
welcome.
Christmas.
Bye.
Shall I put this on the table for you
Yes,
so we don't lose
please.
it? We'll put it up here with your candies, huh?
Oh, yes.
All right, we got to work
All
now.
right.
I
Elmo
wanna-
has a lot of gifts. That's nice.
I think that's fun. You got a lot of friends, sure. I want to show you how to make
What's
a
that?
crown rack of pork. This is just wonderful for Christmas Eve. We want some salt and pepper. Oh, a
Definitely
little
looks
salt.
like a crown.
It is. Well, you see, it's the pork ribs, and they're trimmed down. Your butcher will do this for you, Elmo, if you just tell him you want a crown rack, and they'll run anywhere from 16 ribs
Mm-hmm.
to 21.
Is that
And
pepper?
16 ribs. Yes, it is pepper. Don't start sneezing again
Boy,
now.
that's neat.
Just stay away from it.
Whoa.
Okay, and then we want some sage and some thyme, and that'll make the seasonings for us.
Wow.
And you rub all this in.
You have
see?
to rub it on, huh?
Rub it all in, sage and thyme, to taste, really. There. Get some on the outside. Now, in order to protect the roast, we're going to put a big ball of aluminum foil in the center. Where did I leave
Why in
them?
the center?
Well, because the center is hollow. You see, it's like a big donut.
Yeah.
And we don't want that to overcook. So this is very simple. I'm just gonna put a ball of aluminum foil right in the center,
Oh,
and that will help it cook more evenly. And then on the outside, I'm gonna tear off small strips of aluminum foil, and I want to protect the bones this way.
Oh, because
So-
they burn
So
easily,
that
too.
they don't want them to burn up.
Oh.
Now, you bake this off at a 325-degree oven for about 25 minutes a pound, or until you put a thermometer inside and it registers 165 degrees. Let me show you what you get.
Okay.
Craig is going to help us garnish this.
Mr. Krabs! Yoo-hoo! Come on in!
Okay,
Come on down.
Oh, this
how's
is
it going
good.
today?
Oh, okay.
You having fun?
Yeah. So you're gonna, what does garnish mean anyway?
Well, a garnish is something you add at the end of a dish to make it look pretty and
Ah.
feast the eyes.
To
So
finish
it's more
it off.
enjoyable that way.
To finish it off, huh? Oh, okay.
Okay, Craig, you're on.
Okay.
I'm going to show, while you do the vegetable garnish, I'm going to show Elmo how to make panties.
Okay.
We're going to make panties, Elmo.
What?
Panties are those little things that you put on the legs.
Oh, you mean on the top of those things, huh?
Yes, yeah. What do you think I meant?
Oh, I
You
almost didn't
see?
know.
See what they are? I'll put one on here for you. I don't want to get in Craig's way, but I want to show you how to make them, Elmo. They're very simple to make.
Wow, look at that.
Very simple to make. You fold paper in half. This is just typing paper.
Uh-huh.
Now watch this. We're going to cut down about an inch, Elmo, about a fourth of an inch apart.
Oh,
Got
you
that?
just keep cutting?
It's just very simple. Otherwise, you have to buy these in a gourmet shop, and they always charge too much money. I can never get mine straight,
Oh,
but I don't suppose it
I
matters.
probably wouldn't be able to either.
Oh, I bet you could.
You need to cut it down like that,
Then we just cut it down again. I feel like Mr. Rogers. You like Mr. Rogers?
Yes.
So do I. He's a good friend.
Yes. Elmo learned a lot from him. Like Elmo's learning from you now.
Now watch this. You see, you open this up and turn it inside out.
Wow.
And you see what happens?
And that puffs them up, kind of.
Uh-huh. And then you just roll this around on your finger. And that's perfect size. Well, it is on my finger. Perfect size for a pork bone.
Oh, look at that.
And a little bit of Scotch tape
Some tape. So it won't unravel?
so it won't unravel. Of course, if your fingers are covered with pork fat, as mine are right now, it's not going to stick in here. And there's a little lamb panty or a pork panty.
Wow, that's neat.
Should we help him put them on?
Well, that seems like fun to do.
Oh, it is fun. It is fun. That's a beautiful roast, Craig.
And you don't want to cook it, the roast, with the dressing in the center because we want to make sure the pork gets done properly.
Right. That's very important.
Shall I put this out?
Please do.
Good.
Gee, that's a
Now
great
that's
job,
a
Craig.
crown rack of pork
Wow.
with ham.
Yay!
You simply slice that down between the bones. He's already cracked it down to the bottom, so it'll just slice right in and serve them, and you picked up by their little panties and nibble on the bones. Oh, Elmo.
What?
Action.
What?
Get ready.
What?
Do you like goose?
Goose?
Goose.
You know, Elmo never had goose before.
Oh, this is so... Do you know why you
Goose.
didn't?
Why?
Most people in America are chicken to cook goose. That's true. Does anybody have a bagpiper or something so we can pipe this goose to the table?
Yeah. Oh, the goose.
Toot, 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 toot. This is very English,
Wow,
Elmo.
look at that goose.
Isn't that a beautiful thing?
Oh.
People are nervous about cooking geese because it's very fatty, but I'll tell you what you do. All you have to do is to poke the skin. Use a pot fork. Let me see if I have one. I'll show you.
A pot fork?
A pot fork, Big pot fork like this. And you poke the skin. I'm not going to do it now because it's sealed up, but when it's raw, poke the skin all over, and then pour boiling water on the bird.
Boiling water? Why?
Boiling water. That'll draw out the fat.
Oh.
And then you put him in the oven and bake him. He's been stuffed with a nice dressing. And that way he won't be terribly fatty. This is an old English method. Oh, it's so good. Americans should eat more lamb, more geese. Oh, let me move this.
Yeah, they look
Let me
really
move the
good.
Hanukkah latkes out of here, so we can have room for
Boy.
this. Whoops.
What are you getting?
That's yours, Elmo. I don't want to lose that.
No, no,
Well, I'm
that's
trying to find room
Elmo's
for
gift.
the goose.
Oh, okay.
Here he is.
Right
Good
in the
Lord,
center.
that's heavy, Elmo. Ow!
I'm gonna help you.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Okay, you got it?
Yeah, now I just broke
Okay,
my
you
leg.
got it? You got it? Okay.
Thanks, Elmo.
Okay.
And finally, oh yes,
What?
oh yes.
Oh, yes. What?
Do you ever
What's
make
that?
peppermint candy cookies?
No, no, but Elmo
Well,
would like to.
We have to have some sweets with all of this food.
Ooh.
This is a butter batter, butter
Uh-huh.
dough, you know, butter balls normally at Christmas time. And what you do is to mold them. Oops, I need to get a,
What?
here, this will work. The handle of a wooden spoon will do great.
Why?
Mold, you know, you see these cooked all the time this way. These little butter ball cookies.
Yeah.
Well, poke a hole in the center.
Right
There.
in the center.
Well, you see how you'll have a hole in it. And then I have a piping bag somewhere, but we'll just do it this way. You want to put in a bit of the broken up candy cane mixed with a little bit of cream cheese. And you just
Ah.
stuff that right into the center and then remold the cookie. And then bake them off.
Boy, that looks good.
Oh, it's going to be delicious. And when it comes out of the oven, let me show you a whole bunch of them here. Boy, this is a sticky day, Elmo. Do you,
Elmo
when
loves Sticky Day.
I do that too. I do, because during the holidays, we somehow want to remember the richness of God's love.
Mm.
And so sugar seems to do it, you know.
Yeah.
Here it is, Elmo.
Ooh.
Whoops.
Uh-oh.
One of my candies fell off here, and a
Oh,
holly leaf.
that looks good.
let me
What is
redo
that?
this.
What is that powdered stuff on top?
That's what I'm going to show you right now.
Okay.
This is the next lesson.
Elmo's kind of jumping.
After you bake them, you come out of the oven, let them cool a bit, and then roll them in powdered sugar and crushed up candy cane.
Oh, look at that.
You just roll them in this wonderful mixture. This is my mother's recipe. You met my mother.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah, Elmo met your mother on her birthday.
I forgot that. That's right.
Yeah.
That's what it was. All right, let's see if we have one more.
What do you have next? Is this more dessert?
Yes, and this is something that my mother taught me too, but oh boy, when I was a little kid, my mother used to make fruitcakes that weighed a ton. They were heavy as lead, and they lasted as long too.
Oh.
Oh, I didn't like them.
Oh,
But
really?
now,
What you got?
I've got a big, heavy tray of stuff. I don't want to drop this on you.
Oh.
Now,
Okay.
she makes a wonderful cake. It's actually an applesauce cake. Anybody can do this at home. Make a regular applesauce cake, and then add nuts and candied fruit and raisins and dates, and you have a little vanilla, and you have a wonderful, what we call Graham's lighter fruit cake.
Applesauce?
Oh, you know what an applesauce cake
Yeah,
is.
but no. Elmo doesn't know what an applesauce cake is.
Flour,
Yeah.
sugar,
Mhm.
eggs,
Mhm.
butter,
Butter.
applesauce,
Applesauce.
right? Baking powder,
Baking powder.
salt,
Uh-huh.
cinnamon,
Uh-huh.
and cloves. Mix that up and you have a batter.
That's it?
That's it. Then you add nuts and fruitcake mix. You know, the fruit, chopped citrus
Yeah.
fruits,
Yeah.
and some raisins and dates. And when you bake that off,
Mhm.
it doesn't weigh a ton like the old ones do. Oh, boy.
Sounds good.
Calvin Trillin.
Calvin Trillion?
You know Calvin Trillin?
No.
Well, he was a great food author. He was a very funny man.
Hmm.
He claims that there's only one fruit cake in the whole world, and it just gets passed around all the time. Nobody opens it up and eats it.
Funny. Boy, look at that. That looks good.
Oh, boy, this is,
yeah,
I'm
you
making
have a lot
mess,
of
Elmo.
food out here.
These cookies have no sense of traction. There. Now
That's
let me
okay.
show
They
you
will
this.
when Elmo eats them.
You like them?
Oh, yes.
I'll give you
Boy.
one in a minute. I'll give you one in a minute, sweetie.
Boy, that cake, it looks really good.
I think you're going to like it. Let me get rid of the end piece. I don't want
Okay.
you to, I don't like it too dry, you see. But this doesn't weigh a ton. This is much lighter
Wow.
than the kind of fruitcake that my mother used to keep around until April. She was still trying to unload that on us. She'd tear it up into a bowl and put simple syrup on it, and she would say,
That's how
surprise.
long it would digest, too.
I'm sorry?
That's how long it would take to digest it, too.
Oh,
Until
it would take
April.
it would take that long. That's funny. In any
Thank you.
case, this is what it looks like. If you want to put some powdered sugar on it, why, you can. But isn't that gorgeous?
Mm.
You see? And it, you know, look at that. I can pick it up.
Wow.
I didn't even sprain my wrist. Oh, Mom, if you're watching, I apologize, but you know how desperate those cakes were. All right, let's go through what we've prepared for the holiday here. Who knows where that's going to go? It's going to go right there.
Yeah.
We've prepared, with the help of Father Orsini, a wonderful pasta with no meat in it at all, because it's Christmas Eve. And then, because I like meat, we had a pork roast, a crown rack of pork, and a goose. That's delicious. And we have latkes, remember, for Hanukkah. And finally, we have my mother's cookies with candy cane. And then this lighter than airfare cake, which is really quite good. Instead of the 10-pound bomber. That's crazy. I don't know why. I don't know why we ever got into that.
Well, that's the way it was done then.
Yes, it was, and it was very English. And the English still love heavy cakes.
Yeah.
I know a woman who bakes an English cake, and it takes her 5 months just to gather the stuff. She can't carry it into the house. It's that heavy. And then she makes this enormous cake and puts this wonderful icing on it.
Oh, really?
And it's, oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's very good. But it's, as I say, it's too much. But on Christmas Eve, she's very English, and if she didn't have it. Do you have some things on Christmas Eve that make you realize it's Christmas?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's important, isn't it?
Candy
All right,
cane,
I want you to
first of all.
smell this.
Okay.
Here, come up and take a whiff.
Okay.
Can you get over here?
Okay.
Take a whiff. What's that?
Jeff, Elmo, I hear him. I think they're coming up the path.
Hey, come on.
Fred? Who's that?
Get your scarf on and we'll join them.
What's happening?
They're carolers.
Oh, they're curlers. Oh.
In excelsis Deo, Gloria, in excelsis Deo. Joy to the world, the
Elmo's
Lord
favorite.
is come.
Yeah.
Let earth receive a King. Let every heart prepare him.
This is Jeff Smith, the Frugal Gourmet, Craig Wallum, our chef, and Elmo, our dear friend, wishing all of you the most blessed holiday season, and certainly holiday peace.
Merry Christmas.
Bye-bye.
The Lord